I want to take a very basic approach to talk about how our thoughts are powerful. Now, I've been getting these questions recently from people, my clients, that ask me, what exactly makes my thoughts very powerful? How is it that I'm creating my reality? What is the relationship between my thoughts and my reality? Now, even though I say this every time, but I understand it's a tricky subject that you have to actually pay attention properly because it's not conversant. It's not new, but it's something that not so many people talk about. So it's kind of tricky to understand, but I hope in this video it's going to make sense. This cannot be overemphasized. I want to do this like a kind of series, so try not to miss any of these bites in form of these videos I'm going to be putting out, because I'm going to kind of extend it and put one concept in one video so that it's easy to grab. So why are our thoughts powerful? Now, you and I realize that there's nothing that exists in this world that was not in form of a thought first. Now, reality is made up of non-physical and physical reality. The non-physical and physical reality. Reality is not just about what you can see, hear, taste, smell, and touch. That's not what reality is. Because of the way we've been groomed, we've been programmed to believe that if we can see, hear, taste, smell, and touch it, it has to be real. But guess what? That's not only what reality is. Reality is both what you cannot see, smell, taste, and touch. Right now, there are cell phone waves, there are Wi-Fi waves, there are Bluetooth waves. All these things are frequencies, but you can't see them, you can't hear them, you can't taste them, you can't smell them. But do they exist? Yes. So in upcoming videos, I'm going to be talking about this. I'm going to be talking a little bit about quantum physics that focuses on the subatomic particle that you cannot see. Even the atom that is a particle that can be seen has to be seen with a very powerful microscope. But there are subatomic particles that you open the atom. I don't want to drift away from the subject of thoughts. I'm trying to draw some inferences from these ideas to tell you that your thoughts, because you cannot see them, hear them, taste them, and touch them, doesn't mean that it's not real. Reality is both physical and non-physical. So everything that exists in this physical world was first a thought. But Proctor put it this way: everything is created twice, first in the mind and secondly in the physical world. And that's how it is. Cell phones, the smartphone you're looking into right now, your wristwatch, your TV, the airplanes, cars, everything that you can think of was first a thought. Somebody saw a need in the world and sat down and began to think creatively, constructively, came up with an idea to produce something that's going to solve that problem. That product did not just start existing when it was produced. It was existing somewhere in the reality of the brain. That is non-physical reality. Everything you can talk about was once a non-physical reality before it became a physical reality. So reality is both non-physical and physical, mainly non-physicality, because without the non-physical reality, there wouldn't be a physical reality. That makes sense. Now, this includes, listen now, this includes the problems in your life. Whatever you're going through right now as a problem, which is a physical reality because you are now experiencing it, was once a reality in your mind. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So how did I create this hurt I'm experiencing in my relationship? How did I create this bankruptcy? How did I create all of these problems? Well, if you think about it, you realize that you once thought about this problem. It was once a thought in your mind, because that's the fourth law of creation. You get back what you put out. You get back what you put out. In other words, called the law of attraction. Everything resonates on a certain frequency. You cannot get an experience back that you didn't put out something that attracted it to you. It is a law. It is a law. Laws are not phenomenons. They are universal. They are immutable. So that problem you're experiencing right now was once a thought in your mind. There are thoughts that you think every day. You might not know when you thought about it. If you did, you wouldn't create a problem for yourself. That's agreeable. But you did think about it. You did think about that one day they might put you out of a job. You did think about that one day that this guy might kick you out of his life, or that girl might dump you. You did think about that this boss doesn't like me, that's why he's behaving like this. You did think about that this boss doesn't want me to be promoted. You did think about it. That thought actually crossed your mind. And every thought has an emotion, which is the frequency. We'll talk about this in upcoming videos, which is the emotion that causes you to believe in that thought, that produces an action. Because once you think about that thought and feel the emotion, you begin to act in correspondence with that thought. That means that you believe that that thought might be real. That is when you've put out the signal that is going to put you in circumstances that will cause that thing to be a reality in your life. It never fails. It is a law. So when you continue doing this, the redundancy of these kinds of thoughts and these kinds of actions and these kinds of emotions, which is a personality, by the way, is what creates a belief system. Once something becomes a belief, you don't need to intentionally engage in it. It just begins to roll off on its own and begins to now perpetuate that reality for you. Now you're creating like a master, only that you're creating what you don't want. So the takeaway from this video is this: every problem that is in your life right now is self-inflicted. I know you might not believe this, but it is. Nobody, no circumstance, no situation has the power or right to hurt you without your permission. Now let me say that again. This is worth saying. Listen, no human being, no situation, no government, nobody has the power to hurt you without your permission. You have to believe that something in your outside world can hurt you before it hurts you. Are there bad situations that can control you? Yes. Are there bad people in the world? Yes. But you have to give permission. You have to believe it for it to work. If you don't believe that it will work, if you don't permit it, if you don't engage in those thoughts, because that's how you're giving the permission. Now you believe that someone else can hurt you. Now you believe that someone can put you in a bottle. Now you believe that someone can just wake up and hate you. Because you have all those belief systems. Your thought is your energy and your thought is your power. Science tells us that where you place your attention is where you place your energy. That's your energy. You've given it away to someone else. They will use it against you. So take away from this video, take your power back to yourself. Begin to think empowering thoughts. Now, the first thing I want you to do before you get to thinking empowering thoughts is look into your life right now. I'm not talking about people who think they don't have a problem. If you think your life is okay, if you think this is all woo-woo, you don't understand it, because this is not for entertainment. I'm not entertaining you. If I want to entertain you, I'll play music for you. If this is not your thing, and you don't need you don't need to change your life, you don't need all this stuff, don't do anything. When I'm ready for music, I'll play music and you can dance. But these are for people who want to change something in their lives, who think that, oh, this is making sense. Oh, I'm thinking negative thoughts. Okay, I understand this. This makes sense. Now, I want you to look into your life right now. Discover the thoughts that you're thinking. I always say this. It cannot be overemphasized. You cannot change your physical life because your physical life is a reflection of your consciousness. You cannot change your physical life because it's a product, it's the effect. You are the cause producing an effect in your life. That is what it is. You cannot change your physical life, but you can change the cause. Every thought leads to a choice, which leads to an action. The action produces the effect, which is the experience you're having right now. It always begins with what? With a thought. A good example about this is that you're standing in front of a mirror and there's a spot in your face. And the mirror shows you that the spot is in your face. And instead of cleaning the spot in your face so that the mirror can reflect it, you're cleaning the mirror, that particular area in the mirror where you notice the spot. And then you're very serious, intentionally forcing that thing to change in the mirror, and it's not changing. You get angry with the mirror, you get angry with your image and saying, why don't you clean? Why don't you clean? You know, you're forcing that thing. That's what we do when we look at things are not changing. We'll tell our bosses to promote us, we'll force the government. It's the same thing as cutting down a branch. It will grow back. You take the tree from the root. Physical reality is a product of thoughts, choices, actions. The product is the physical reality. That's the end product. If you do not change the actions, that's why I keep saying, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you will get the same product. If you do not change your choices, you cannot change your actions. If you do not change your thoughts, your choices will not change. It's like a chain reaction. I call it the creation cycle. Physical reality is a reflection of the true reality, which is the non-physical reality. So forcing things on the outside world to change, it's like forcing your image in the mirror to change without cleaning your face. Sounds funny. This is as funny as what we do in a physical reality. You don't force people in your life to change. There is a consciousness inside you that is drawing those kinds of people into your life. Big hint. I know this is hard. I know this is tight, but it's right. You don't force your bank account to change. There is something you're doing in your life. You have a consciousness about money that keeps that amount of money coming every time into your life. You don't force yourself to get happy or to get joy. Become joyful. If you're depending on anything on the outside to cause something on the inside to change, you are not in charge, and it does not work. So instead of forcing the outside world to change, instead of blaming everyone in your life, blaming your ancestors and blaming your parents and blaming your uncles and aunties, go back to the foundation, which is the kinds of thoughts you're thinking. Now, notice those thoughts and begin to write them down. If you write them down, okay, I always do this. I always say that I'm not enough. I always don't believe that people will like what I'm going to say. I always don't believe that I can do this. I always think these thoughts against myself. Notice that and realize that you are the architect of that problem. It's not you blaming yourself. It is you understanding, taking responsibility, which is a very powerful virtue. Taking responsibility for your life. Knowing that this is where I'm making the mistake. Once you know that, it is easy for you to change because problem discovered is problem almost solved, right? So in the subsequent videos, we're going to talk about how those thoughts can be changed, how you can work on changing them, and what you can do, how you can choose healthier thoughts and replace these thoughts, and then how you can repeat these thoughts. We talk about how the brain works, what neuroscience teaches on, and how to wire a thought over and over again until it becomes a habitual thought, which will now lead you to acting in a different way and feeling different emotions, which is a new personality that can now create an effect of your new life. We'll talk about that in the next video. So remember, you are a creator. We all are creators. Every human being on the planet is a creator. So long as you have a brain and you're thinking thoughts, you are creating something. The world wouldn't be the way it is today if there were no human beings living in it. There wouldn't have been any good thing in this world today if there were no inventors creating things. And there wouldn't be any negative experiences that people are experiencing in the world today if there were no human beings thinking vile and negative thoughts, destroying the world today. We humans, you and I, are creating reality. But we can start from creating our own desired reality first. If I create my reality and I create the life that I love, and you create the life that you love, another person creates the life that they love, someone else creates the life that they love, good things and creativity will begin to spread like cancer, will begin to spread like wildfire. And that's how to make the world a better place. Thank you for watching, and help me share this video and let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Ciao.